Samsung Galaxy A03 Smartphone Review. Inexpensive Galaxy with fast WLAN. Next-gen inexpensive. The predecessor was a bit behind its time, but Samsung noticeably catches up in the low-priced phone segment with the Galaxy A03. Are the fast Wi-Fi and the new camera enough to really shake up the competition? Case and equipment, more memory and fast macros. Reader: Samsung has several entry-level phones on offer, and the Galaxy A03 is currently one of the cheapest. Thus, it is not surprising that the Koreans can only offer a fairly simple plastic casing for a price of just under €160. Compared to the Galaxy A3s from last year, it offers a quite chic pattern of crossed lines. The casing stability also feels high quality, so the smartphone can hardly be twisted. Pressure on the front, however, gets through to the screen quite quickly. Nothing has changed in terms of weight and dimensions compared to last year. The Galaxy A03 offers more storage than its predecessor. It is available with 64 GB of mass storage and 4 GB of RAM, yet it has not become more expensive in Europe. Again, there is NFC, not necessarily a matter, of course, in this price range. However, there is a step backward in the USB port that seems a bit incomprehensible. Instead of a USB-C port, a microSD port is now installed again, whose plug cannot be inserted in every direction. It is about time for the manufacturers finally buried this outdated USB port in inexpensive phones as well. The microSD reader is kept separate from the two SIM slots. It achieves very good rates in both the copy test and the CPDT benchmark, so microSD cards can be used quite well for memory expansion. Communication, software and operation. Finally, Wi-Fi 5 had the Galaxy A3s only had Wi-Fi 4 on board. The successor finally has Wi-Fi 5, which is now common even in the inexpensive entry-level class. The Galaxy A03 performs well, but with two slight drops in transfer rates. There are still not many LTE frequencies, so mobile internet abroad becomes a gamble. The reception is overall decent during our test, but the Galaxy A03 does show signal weaknesses at individual moments. Android 11 with Samsung Neo 3.1 is pre-installed on the smartphone. During our test, we received an update with the very latest security patches from May. According to Samsung, Android 12 is still to come, but it should not be expected before the second half of the year. In addition, Android 13 will probably be released next year for this phone. The 60Hz touchscreen can be operated quickly. A fingerprint sensor is completely missing. Unlock is only possible by facial recognition, but it is only a somewhat insecure software solution that cannot be used for directly unlocking apps like online banking. Cameras: no more macro camera. Is the camera system of the Galaxy A03 a step forward or a step backward compared to the one in the Galaxy A3s? This is an interesting question that is difficult to answer at first glance. On the one hand, the camera has a much higher resolution of 48 megapixels, but on the other hand, it usually only uses a quarter of the resolution, but with higher light sensitivity due to the larger pixels. In addition, the Galaxy A03 no longer has a dedicated macro camera. Let's take a closer look at the image quality. In direct comparison, the pictures from both smartphones look very similar. The Galaxy A03 again offers decent dynamics, even in more difficult situations, but details are quickly blurred. The additional light sensitivity is hardly noticeable in the pictures. Compared with high-end phone cameras, the significantly lower image sharpness and pixelate areas are noticeable. Videos can still be recorded with a maximum of 1080p and 30 fps. The speed of the autofocus and exposure compensation is pleasing, but the image sharpness quickly decreases in low light and the video starts to noise. Overall, both generations of the smartphone are on about the same level in terms of photography. Pictures taken with the 5-megapixel front-facing camera are quite decent, but the dynamic range could be even higher and you should not enlarge the pictures too much because details will be lost. However, selfies are usable for social media. Image comparison: choose a scene and navigate within the first image. One click changes the position on touchscreens. One click on the zoomed-in image opens the original in a new window. The first image shows the scaled photograph of the test device. Display: brighter, but with a blue cast. The screen of the Galaxy A03 has an expanded 720p resolution and is thus on a standard level for the price range of the phone. The display is a bit brighter than in the predecessor, but with an average of 419 CD/M2, the brightness still lags behind the screens in the Moto G22 and the Nokia G11 behind. We like the low black value, which actually makes dark areas appear quite deep and also achieves a good contrast. The color reproduction is, as in all phones in the comparison field, quite inaccurate. There is also a heavy blue cast in the grayscale. On the other hand, we did not notice any PWM, so even those sensitive to flickering can use the phone screen without any problems. Performance, emissions and battery life, more power, more runtime with the Unisoc T606's SoC, Samsung makes a solid choice for the Galaxy A03. It means a clear performance plus compared to the Galaxy A3s. The smartphone is much more agile in everyday use and does not immediately drop to its knees during a somewhat more complex background app. Photos sometimes load quite quickly on websites, so browsing with the Galaxy A03 can also be quite nice. Demanding gamers will have to look elsewhere, but those who only want to play simpler games like Angry Birds or Candy Crush will get enough performance. The MP storage is also common in the price range, but it is still annoyingly slow and significantly prolongs loading times and data transfers compared to higher-end smartphones. Prolonged high load leads to noticeable warning, but it still remains within acceptable limits. The mono speaker on the bottom edge is very treble-heavy and cannot really provide good music quality over longer periods. A 3.5mm audio jack and Bluetooth 5.0 are on board, and external audio devices can be connected easily via them. However, the latest EPX codecs are not available for Bluetooth. The 5000 mAh battery is sufficient for good run times, but they are much shorter than in the predecessor. Nevertheless, with 18-17 hours of WLAN surfing, you should also survive 2 workdays with a medium load on the phone. Charging is possible with a maximum of 7.8 watts, so you should not be in a hurry when the phone is empty. It can take up to 3 hours for a full charge. Verdict: old problems go, new ones come. Samsung takes a step in the right direction with the Galaxy A03 and gets closer to the competition again. Although the Galaxy A03 is by no means the price-performance winner, it is a solid entry-level phone that finally also offers faster internet, more memory, and reasonable performance rates. The battery runtimes are also still convincing, but the predecessor Galaxy A3 still has a nose in front. You also get a fast macOS reader, a decent main camera for the price range, and a reasonably bright display without PWM. Long runtimes and good system performance made the Galaxy A03 a decent entry-level phone. However, you should consider the smartphone's problem areas before buying it. We are annoyed about the reintroduced micro support, slow charging, the few available LTE frequencies, and the missing fingerprint sensor. All in all, the inexpensive Galaxy phone offers some good and bad traits, so you should carefully check whether you can live with the drawbacks before buying. A bit more convincing is the Nokia G11. It enables unlocking by fingerprint and even offers a 90Hz screen, but we do not like the camera as much. The inexpensive Xiaomi Redmi phones are also a good alternative. Some of them offer much more features. Price and availability: the Samsung Galaxy A03 is available on the internet for about €137 at the time of testing. Also, Amazon Common Notebooks Pillager D also have the device on offer.